more wrinkles, found more wrinkles. Wrinkles. Hi everyone, in today's video I will focus on my new project, which is 18th century jacket. I was specifically inspired by the Stripe Revolution jacket dated around 1790. And I was probably not only one who was fascinated by this jacket, because I found more recreation on internet, and here I even found a pattern for sale. So I will join the club of admirers of this jacket and I will try to sell it. This women's jacket, stored in the museum of the Kyoto Costume Institute, is made of red and white striped plain silk and features a distinctive large turned-down collar with scalloped edges. Metallic large buttons placed in 2 rows provide accent. During the years of French Revolution, women's dress expanded into different types of national costumes. In women's fashions were starting to be simplified by influences from English women's country outdoor wear called redingotes or riding coat, which had been popular among men for horse riding or traveling, influenced women's clothes, resulting in sophisticated jackets like this. The simplicity of the style and material became the custom and had great influence on the transition into the neoclassical styles of the late 1790s. And I have a feeling that in some way this fashion can inspire us today. Look at this jacket. I don't know if only I can see it, but influenced by this jacket is simply there. I put my 18th century stay on the dress form, and as usual I use a draping method to create a pattern. If you think you are not skilled enough to use this method, you can also use the pattern from the book Patterns of Fashion by Jant Arnold. But personally I prefer to use draping method. It's not clear from the picture what exactly pattern looks like, so I finally created one front part, 2 pretty back parts and a shoulder piece. At the back, I finally created such a small skirt because I didn't want to finish the jacket at waist. And the photo shows that there is something in the back, but what is it I'm not able to identify. For sleeve, I used a 2-part sleeve pattern from a Maria Antoinette dress pattern I made 1 year ago. And I got very lucky in that it fit my draped armhole exactly. This jacket is a great choice if you only have a small amount of one fabric. I used less than 1.5 meters of the cotton fabric which I had left from the previous project. And here I'm laying out pattern pieces on the fabric following the straight grain. The seam allowances are not included, so I added 1.5 centimeters around the pattern using a ruler. When I cut everything out, including the lining pieces, I got into the pinning. First I pinned curved pleating at the back, and then I pinned front to the back, and at the end I pinned the shoulder piece. I didn't bother much to all stripe line up, because my fabric has such a small stripes that it would take too long to align the stripes, and it would still not be visible on the finished garment. At the end, I pressed the seam open. And this is what the jacket looked like during the sewing process. I remember that when I put it on the dress form at the beginning. I liked it very much and I couldn't wait to see what it would look like in the end. Lately, I also like the stripe pattern. Here I'm sewing 2-part sleeve. To my delight, this time it was separating to the sleeve to the armhole opening without slightest difficulties. So let's take a look at making the bottom skirt of the jacket. I don't know how exactly it is called, so for me it's just skirt. I pinned the lining and the shell fabric of the skirt with right sides together and then I turn it right side out. I'm using 1 pleating meeting at the center and 2 outward pleats on each side. Before I attach the skirt to the bottom edge of the jacket, I turn the seam allowances of the bottom edges of the jacket inward and I baste it. And then I finally sew my skirt to the jacket with running stitches. I didn't want the stitches to be visible, so I always tried to hit the red stripe of the fabric because I was using red thread. Here I'm making the pattern for white color. I create the color of 1 longer back part and 2 ellipsoid front parts. I cut out the parts with the help of pinking shears, and to prevent fraying edges of the fabric, I use the spray seam glue. After that, I base the color to the neckline edges, and then I sew the lining and shell fabric at neckline edges with right sides together, and at the end, I turn the right side out. To finish the lining, I turn the seam allowances of the bottom edges inward, and I sew it with whip stitches. Now it's time to move on to the cuffs on the sleeve. The lower sleeve have a wide cuff. On the cuff is a little placket that extends up past the edge of the cuff a bit. On it are 2 buttons. I cut out 4 pieces of fabric for cuffs approximately 12 cm wide, and 4 pieces fabric about 4 cm wide for the placket. Here I'm sewing the placket and cuff around one short side and one long side. After that, I turn the placket and cuff right side out, and I attach the placket to the short side of the cuff with using whip stitches. On the placket, I created buttonholes which, according to the photo of the original jacket, are sewn with a light yellow thread. On the cuffs, I've sewed on the buttons which I had left from the previous project and which I just love. I know the metallic ones are used in the original jacket, but I like these buttons much more, and I think that wooden motif is beautifully suited to a striped fabric. The last step was to creating a closure. I made 2 rows of buttons. I sewed the buttonholes on the sewing machine, and then I sewed on buttons. And that's all. This project was quite easy, wasn't it? Besides the jewelry and scarf, a purple hairstyle was a necessary addition to the outfit. During the 1779 to 1781, the shape of the hair started to become rounder and height began to diminish. This lower form of the wig tended to be worn with fatter side curler than previously. I was very inspired by hairstyle from the film The Duchess with Keira Knightley. And we are done! I'm happy how the jacket looks like, especially with the skirt, which I have also used for this 18th century model. Link with the skirt tutorial will be down below. I hope you like this video and thank you for watching!